So we have the keratosis pilaris, which is where the keratin kind of just accumulates in the pores, and you kind of get this bumpy chicken skin feeling, usually like on the back of the arms, on the butt and stuff, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah,
The
that's right.
keratosis, the KP. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're saying that the omega-3s really help that. Omega-3s
It,
really
oh
make a
yeah.
big difference and help improve the extra keratin deposits in the pores.
Yeah, my wife had it too, real bad when we first started dating, and we've got her on like 2 to 4 grams a day of omegas, and her back of her arms feel perfectly smooth now. I mean, of course, we got her gut better, we got her diet better, but I honestly think the biggest factor, the biggest variable was the omegas.
Yeah, the extra omega-3s can make a big difference. Also, good zinc, extra zinc too can also help. That's really good to note. So we also talk about skin. Diet plays a big role. So we have to kind of rule out things like gluten, extra refined sugar can feed yeast and bacteria, and these things can produce, various mycotoxins or endotoxins that can put stress on the liver and the body. And you may see the skin reacting as a means to that. You may see skin issues, breakouts as a means of that. Also, large amounts of sugar can cause insulin, which can cause insulin surges, which can cause extra sebum, and sebum can feed bacteria on the skin, which can create more acne and more skin inflammation. Also, things like gluten can potentially drive autoimmune reactions like eczema, psoriasis, potentially even rosacea issues. So you got to look at dairy, you got to look at gluten, you got to look at refined sugar that could be driving a lot of that insulin, that could be feeding a lot of the microbes, the fungal, the yeast, the bacterial overgrowth, which can obviously affect the skin too.
Yeah, yeah. So what about eggs? I think that's important to mention too. I personally feel that pulling out eggs is a good strategy for people if they're unsure of what's happening with their diet and reactions, that eggs may be a culprit. And then also conventional dairy. I know that was a big culprit for me. I would like to cheat on it a little bit and do like some grass-fed cheese every once in a while, but then even that, sometimes I'll notice a skin reaction to it.
Yeah, so eggs could definitely be a role. So if we're unknown, I'd probably want to go autoimmune out of the gates. No grains, legume, dairy, nuts, seeds, nightshades, or eggs, and keep the sugar down just so we're not overfeeding bacteria and yeast, which could be causing skin issues, like I mentioned earlier. So that kind of be a first step. I always want to look at omega-3s, right? Because that can help the KP, the keratosis pilaris. That can also just help inflammation. Your skin needs really good, healthy fats. So if you're a female and a lot of your skin issues tend to be more based around your cycle, I tend to like fats like borage or black currant seed oil, which are GLA omega-6 fats, a good omega-6, but these kind of omega-6 like GLA fats can really help decrease a lot of the sebum and a lot of the stuff that may clog the pores of the skin. So I do like a lot of the black currant seed oil. It can be very, very helpful for women's skin issues. That's excellent out of the gates. Usually women tend to help it more, but if you're a guy and you have more of the KP or the bumps, that's where really up in the omega-3s can make a big, big difference.
Yeah, awesome.